The quadriceps. Here's our leg again. Hopefully it won't fall apart on us. Here's our anterior view of the leg. We got a left leg here, obviously. So here's your quads right in the front here, all attached to the patella. All right. The medial hamstring, medial quadricep comes up and is on the lateral, the medial aspect of the femur. The lateral quadricep on the lateral aspect of the femur. Okay, it does not cross the hip joint. It does fascially, but it does not muscularly. We're going to stick with muscles rather than getting into the myofascial components. Intermedialis, okay, right anterior on the femur, and the vastus. The biceps femoris. That's the hamstring. You got me all confused now. I apologize. The rectus femoris comes up from the common tendon of the quadricep, crosses the hip joint, and attaches right on the pelvis, the pelvis here. Okay, so again, I'm not going to get into the exact terms because it's unnecessary to know. You have it in the book. Okay, just know that when that muscle, that is a hip flexor, the rectus femoris is a hip flexor, so it extends the knee concentrically, it decelerates the knee eccentrically. All quadriceps do that. The rectus femoris concentrically flexes the hip, eccentrically decelerates hip extension. Okay, so again, hip extension, hip flexion, the rectus femoris. Now, from a frontal plane and a transverse plane component, there's a little bit of transverse plane action in the rectus femoris. It decelerates it. A little bit of frontal plane. Okay, depends on where that femur goes. Obviously, it has some decelerating properties. Not a big component. Mainly a sagittal plane muscle. Obviously, the tibia, if it rotates, it will move the patella a little bit. It's going to be so subtle. Remember, this is a hinge joint, and it's not meant to rotate. Okay, if we do, we're going to get in some serious trouble, like ACL tears. Anyway, quadricep, just know that it eccentrically decelerates knee flexion, concentrically extends the knee. Rectus femoris flexes the hip concentrically, extends the hip eccentrically. Not a big transverse and frontal plane. There are some components, and we can argue that, but you know, it's very subtle. It's not worth getting into the detail. In the manual, it does have some ideas of those three planes. But anyway, the quadricep.